Hello and welcome to Reggie's Recess, where you get real talk about real relationships. Of course, I am your host, C. Reggie Rogers, renowned relationship coach, author, television host, radio host, podcast host, and I've got I consider myself a singles empowerment coach. Now, when I say singles empowerment coach, my objective is to literally teach singles or empower singles what it means to become the one so that they attract. You know, breaking up really is so hard. Breakups are never easy for anyone. And so this month, we're going to be talking about It's Over, I'm Sick. So that was the thing that drew me to you, and I wanted to get some advice, some wisdom from you in regards to this dating process.
Yes.
I want to talk about it. We're going to talk. Hello, welcome to Reggie's Recess, of course, where you get real talk about real relationships. I am your host, C. Reggie Rogers, renowned relationship coach, singles empowerment coach, author, podcast host, you name it. I try to fit it in. And you know, my job every week is to have the best guests. Have I let you down this week? I doubt it. I got some great guests, but I also try to have the most provocative talks and topics. And so this week, and this month, we are actually talking about something that I guess could be controversial. I guess for many, it could be exciting. I guess it depends on who is on the receiving end, but it's going to be exciting. It may be controversial, but it's going to be enlightening and empowering because this month we are talking about the pros and cons of interracial dating. Are you dating someone of a different race? Have you considered the challenges that might come with interracial dating? Though attraction is certainly a personal issue of taste, a couple embarking upon an interracial partnership must prepare themselves for the curious stares. So, we're going to talk today about the pros and cons of interracial dating. And my guest today is none other than Mary Sinobio. And I've got Gwen Gotangco. Did I say that right? Did I say it? Gotangco. That's
Yes,
it. Now
yes.
I got it right.
Yes.
So we're going to take a commercial break. And when we come right back, we're going to have our guests and we're going to get into a delicious, delightful dialogue. We'll be right back after this commercial.
I am Ernest L. Thomas from the Waldens, and you need to download the Gwen Network app now, or else it's gonna be tragic. Tragic!
So if you have not downloaded the Gwen Network, make sure you download the Gwen Network. You'll be able to see Reggie's Recess Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Gwen Network. You can go to the Gwen Network, download it now. If you haven't done so already, as Roger just said, it's tragic. I don't know what you're waiting for, but make sure you download the Gwen Network because you're saying, I want more Reggie's Recess. Well, you can get it. So download that and you'll be able to see us Monday through Friday on the Gwen Network. My guests today, both ladies, are in interracial relationships, and I want you to help me welcome to the show Mary and Gwen. Hi, Mary and Gwen. What's happening,
Gwen.
ladies?
It's pretty
We're good?
good. We're good.
Yeah.
You're good?
We're
You guys
great.
have both beautiful smiles.
Thank you.
You guys
Thank
are
Thank
ready?
you. Thank you
Think
for
so.
inviting us
How's your
in your
day
show.
going?
And this is my first time actually to be on a radio show talk. So
Really?
this is breaking ground for me.
Okay, so
Me too.
you're pioneering something that is to come. You got the look, you got the smile. Just gonna be a natural thing. You're gonna have
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. And the good thing is the first talk show, we're going to talk about relationship.
I
Wow.
know we're good at that.
You guys, Mary said we're good at relationships. So Mary, since you said what makes you so good at relationships?
I don't know because maybe I've been married more than once.
Okay.
Both white guys. So, I don't really like to date my own kind.
Ooh,
Just
You
like,
learn,
so once you go Caucasian, you stay with that persuasion. Is that what we're
well,
saying?
yeah, it doesn't have to be Caucasian, just can be Asian.
can I
It
can
can't
I
be.
can I say something about like this comment or saying that once you go black, you never go back?
I can't wait. Let's hear what you got to say. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Tell me.
No, I mean I have nothing to say about that. But yeah, I dated black guy too.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and I mean for me, it's just it's about the society sometimes dictates a different connotation
okay.
about the race,
Okay.
but falling in love with someone is actually not about the race.
No, it
But, but,
isn't.
but you know,
It
I
actually
can't
isn't.
I can't let you sit on what you just said about once you go black, you never go back. Because obviously you went black and you went back. So obviously you did not go with the right black guy. Because had you had the right black guy, you wouldn't have went back. I'm just letting you know.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
That's probably
That's
true because
exactly
I
what
am not
happened.
with him now. So
If
yeah.
you had the right one, you certainly would not have gone back. I'm just gonna let you know.
Oh
And
my God.
it's so funny though that we're having this conversation because I think that when it comes to what the heart says and what really matters to the heart and what we feel, sometimes it doesn't have a color.
No, it
Right.
doesn't.
Yes, exactly.
It-
Because I mean, you really can't, as much as you wanted to choose your
Partner.
partner, or you research. Do you really research about your partner? I think you do in some sort, but when you meet someone,
Mhm,
it's the attraction first,
mhm.
right? And then after the attraction, when you go dating, you learn about this guy. So it's
Okay.
really not about the color of the skin. So when you learn about this person, this guy, then oh yeah, he's a good guy or he's not a good guy.
Okay.
Then it's more of the character.
Okay. I have a question for you though. How do you determine whether somebody is a good guy or a bad guy? What is your litmus test that says someone's good, someone's bad? Because you said that. You said,
Yes.
okay, he's a good guy, but what's your litmus test because here's one of the things that you have to contend with when you're dating interracially. Dating interracially can be a friend or it can be a foe. It can be a friend because if you're not so open to embracing another culture, then it becomes a foe.
Yeah.
If you're open to embracing another culture, then it becomes a friend. So
Right.
how do you determine whether or not you want it to be a friend or a foe, and whether somebody's a good guy, or whether somebody's a bad guy?
Well, I mean, first of all, of course, you can see if a person is a good guy. Um, they have that character that emits being good.
Okay, stop. I'm going to drill you, Gwen, because I like you so much. Our birthday's on the same
Oh
day.
my
So,
God.
how do you determine
Well,
character
first
from
of
a
all,
look?
the values. You
Okay.
have to
Yeah,
have a
family
good values.
values.
Now, how
Family
do you
values.
find that? I'm really trying to go somewhere. How do you find out the values?
Well, the more you know about the person, then you know what kind of values the person possess.
What are you doing to learn and to know the person?
Like because interracial dating or marriage is actually a learning process.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the best way to learn someone else's culture.
Okay, so let me go to Mary because you still haven't answered. I'm trying to get somewhere. I want to, and you haven't gotten there with me. Let me see. So, Mary, what's your process to determine how do you decipher or figure out somebody's culture? And how do you learn somebody initially? Because she said it was the initial attraction for her, but now we got to move past the attraction to see if there's a connection. How do you figure that out?
I figured that out by maybe how they interact with their family. You know, if they have a family, um, I
That's a
like to
good.
go out to eat. So I see how they interact with the waiter or the waitress. Are they good with the waiter or waitress? Because, you
Right.
know, if they're not good with them, then they're not going to be good with me. So,
That's pretty good. That's really good.
Right.
At least, see, you have like a what I call a gauge or a barometer to
yeah.
try to factor in to figure out. And I was trying to learn what your gauge or barometer was. And so for me, this is one of the things that I teach in relationships. One of the things that I teach in relationships, it's really not a date. There should be 5 stages to it. When you first meet someone, there should be 5 stages. And that first initial stage is what you were saying, but you weren't saying. It's the meet and greet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Right.
just the meet and
Yes,
greet.
Yes.
You want to ask all the pertinent questions that you feel you should ask without making it feel like you're interrogating them. But
exactly.
you are interviewing them,
Right.
but it
Right.
doesn't feel
It's
like
like
you
an
are. You're not
interview.
interrogating them, but you want to know if it's going to be a fit for you.
So, do you believe that if you meet someone the first time you go out on a date, you
Mhm.
know right away if you're in a good fit or not a good fit?
Okay,
Do you believe?
so here's what I would say in regards to that. First, the first initial encounter, I wouldn't consider it to be a date. That's number one. The first initial encounter should be a meet and greet phase where we're going
Right.
to meet for coffee, maybe
Right.
coffee, just because I want to sit down and I want to determine if
And
I
he's gonna buy you the coffee.
yeah, well, if he, that's
I'm just
fine.
kidding.
That's fine. I mean, but if he doesn't, it's fine too. But it's an encounter. But we would hope he does. But it's a it's a it's a phase to figure out if it warrants a date
Right.
because it might not warrant a date.
Right.
And
True.
time is our biggest commodity, so we don't have a lot of time to waste. So
Exactly.
therefore, we want to determine if you want
The
to
second time, the
and
second date.
and the mating. See, you keep wanting to go to the date. Wait, don't pump your brakes. We
Okay.
don't want to go to the date so
Yes,
fast.
girl.
Pump your
It's just the
brakes. We
meet
don't
and
want to
greet
Okay.
go there
first.
so fast. You want to make sure that it's a fit
Right. Yeah.
before you get. So the meet and greet might take 2 times. You might meet for coffee a second time because he intrigued you enough the first time, but you didn't get all your questions answered. So let's go
Right.
back a second time. Now, after that second meet and greet, now you say, you know what? Maybe I will go on a date with this guy. So that's your second stage. First stage is the meet and greet. Second stage is date.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
What's the third?
That
The,
is very valid. Yeah.
okay, so
Mhm.
the third stage is now that you have dated. Now there becomes that independence versus interdependence. That's when you've been a single for so long, and so is he,
Mm-hmm.
and you got used to being independent. Now you got to figure out how do we mesh and become interdependent and work together.
Yes.
That's the third stage. Buy my book, you'll get the next 2 stages, fourth and fifth.
Yeah.
So that's so you say it's the attraction, it's the look,
Right.
and that attraction wants you to go further to see if you want to figure out if the culture is going to mesh.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
and the character.
And the
Yes.
character,
Okay,
yes.
so
Because I always see that when you meet someone that you're attracted, your rate is in 100%. And then that 100% will either go up or will go down, the moment you speak and interact with the person.
so you start at 100% and then you
Yes.
start deducting.
Yes, the more that you talk to the guy, or
So
the
when you
more
get
that.
to what figure do you figure out this is not working because you're at 100% and now
You
you're
start
making
at
your
100?
deductions. What
Yeah,
number
because
do you get to when you say okay it's not a fit? Is it 60? Is it 50? Is it 40?
that's a
Where
good
do you come
question.
down
I
to?
never really, give a percentage or rating. I just feel it that, oh, this is not good. But then when it's more than 100%, you also feel that too, because you have that, you know nervousness and excitement,
Butterfly in your stomach.
butterflies in your stomach when you meet the guy. You know that you're gonna go out with the guy right away. I think.
You do. You
I
know.
I
think.
All
do.
I think I do.
right. So let me
Yes,
ask
right.
both of you a question. How did you feel the very first time that you dated outside your race? What was that thing you were feeling?
I felt comfortable with it. Coming from the Philippines, I figured I'm here. Why would I date my own kind? I'm in the United States. When I came here, I never really seen anybody with blonde hair, blue eyes, hair on their arms. Like, wow, what is that? So actually, my very first boyfriend was a white guy with blue eyes. We're still friends, and I like that race.
Okay, no, we like what we like. I get
We
it.
like,
We have
yeah, we like what
preferences.
we
We like our
like.
preferences. How
Yeah.
did it feel for you? But so,
Well,
so because I
first of
want to
all,
ask when you answer me on that, there's another question I want to back up this with. So, how did you feel?
like Mary came here very early on. I think she was 13 years old. So I came here around. I mean, I was 26. So it's a totally different um, environment for me. And you know, I actually did not meet a lot of Filipinos. When I started working and I started going out, and I always meet um, other race, and I
Yeah.
always go out with other race,
Hmm.
and it just fall into place.
You just felt
So I
comfortable for you.
yes,
Did
yes.
either one of you feel guilty as if like this is against your norm? It was against your culture. What did you feel like your family or your friends were going to say because this was against what you were both accustomed to?
No, not for me because I was only 12 years old. So
Okay.
yeah, it
I
was.
mean, not for me
Well,
too,
okay,
because
but it could have been because you're so your parent you moved here with your parents.
Yes,
So
I
how did your
did.
parents feel then when you first went home with a Caucasian
They liked they liked him. It's like, hey, do you want some food? They always.
guy?
That's how we are. We're
Uh,
always asking people like, do you want food? Do you want to eat with us? That's just how our culture is. We're so family oriented, I guess. So
and I think like we're very accepting,
okay.
very
very
accepting.
accepting
Yeah.
culture.
So there was not one iota of a feeling that said I feel a little guilty because I'm stepping outside of my culture. None of that.
I never felt
None of
that.
That's
that.
good.
No.
Yeah.
That's good because sometimes in some cultures they do make you feel guilty if you go and date outside of that particular
Right.
race. There's
Yes.
some cultures
Yes.
they
Well,
feel
maybe there are some social judgment, not from me, but maybe from me dating. Maybe it's that race. Like, hey, why are you dating ours? You're Asian and you're not black. You're not white. Why date your own kind? I've had that.
okay,
I've
and
had
that's
that.
actually good. How do
Oh,
you think?
I
How do you think
actually
it was received from you on the other end when you went into their atmosphere, and how do you feel like you were received
from the other
from the other?
race.
Yeah, from the
Yes.
other race.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. When I dated someone, um, some women in their own race
Yeah,
actually look at me kind of like funny or
Yeah.
kind of very critical.
I could see
So
that. I mean, that's
yeah.
just because I think you said, Mary, people think like, okay, so why don't you stick with your own? Why you're not dating your own?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why
Right.
you have to come take ours from us? Type of
Right.
thing.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's
exactly.
what it
Yeah.
is.
I've had
Yes.
that.
Yeah. But I think some people can be so judgmental.
Yeah, yeah, and I think
But
being
when they date, my own race, I am not judgmental.
did you so did when
Me
you
neither.
no, that's great. I don't
Yeah.
think we should be,
Yeah. I
but
Yeah,
wouldn't.
so many
yeah.
times people have the proclivity or the tendency to come across as judgmental, where we're so quick to want to judge and we're so quick to want to put labels on things as
Mm-hmm.
well, as opposed to just seeing people for who they are or what they are. But you got to be able to see through them to get to them too. That's important. That's the piece that I was trying to pull from you,
Pull up.
because
Yeah.
you got to see through them to get to them, and getting to
Right.
them is what's really on the inside of the key essence of that
Right.
person, who they really are.
Yes. Yes. Right. And then when you are with that person, you actually learn a lot more things.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, you travel. You learn so many things when you travel,
Yeah,
right? And
right.
then you see different races, you see different cultures, you see. But when you're dating someone from not your own race, you learn from a new eye. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually a very um, um,
Eye opening.
special way of learning, because you're right there,
Right.
and
So
he or
it's
she is
experientially
teaching you.
now. It becomes
Yes,
experience because you're
yes,
experiencing
you
it as
experience
you're
it, you
going.
see it,
Yeah.
you taste it, you everything.
Yeah.
You go like with emotionally, culturally, emphatically, you're immersed.
I like what she just
So
said, emotionally
Emphatic,
and
emphatically
emphatically. All right, listen,
immersed. Wow.
we're going to take a
right,
break. We're coming right back. After this, we're going to listen to some music and come right back.
Oh
We'll be
my
right back.
god.
oh my goodness, is that
1, 2, 3.
Keep the picture. This could be me and you. Pull out your feelings. I know you want it too. 'Cause I got the feeling all in my bones. You're waking up the monkey when the gorilla trying to get you to moan. You look so good all by yourself. The way I see it, I think you're gonna need some help. And then we pop, goes the weasel, cause the weasel go pop. We can go pop. We can go pop. Let me love you like you need to be loved. Love you like you need to be loved. Like you need to be loved, baby. Love you like you need to be loved. Baby, baby. Love you like you need to be loved. Don't fight the feeling deep in your soul. Check my record. I just wanna let you know you need to fall back. Check yourself. Ooh, let it go. I don't need to repeat myself, but that's just the way it goes. Oh, baby, baby, pop goes the weasel, cause the weasel go pop. We can go pop. Let me love you. Love you like you need to be loved. All of my love to you. Love you like you need to be loved. Like you need to be loved. I know you need it. Love you like you need to be loved. You want it, baby. Let me love you like you need to be loved. Like you need to be loved. I wanna love you like you need it. I wanna make this thing legit. Ooh. Yo, deal. Baby, baby's the queen of my throne. There's no reason to be alone. I need you to get ready. What you thinking is still unknown. Catching feelings, it ain't so wrong. I need you to get ready. I will be everything you want me to be. I'll get everything you need. Loving you and you loving me. I'm giving you love like you need to be. Really want to. I really want to. Like you need to be loved. Like you need to be loved. Slowly. Like you need to be loved. Gently. Love you like you need to be loved. You need to be. You meant to be loved. Love you like you need to be loved. Baby, let me love you. Love you like you need to be loved. Love you like you need to be loved. Pop.
Hey, and we're back with Reggie's Recess. Those of you who are joining us by Facebook Live, we certainly appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We see some of you in the chat room. I'm going to come to some of your questions here and comments in the chat room. And then some of you will be watching us or listening to us tonight on 87.9 Heat FM Charlotte. We appreciate you tuning in every week, listening to Reggie's Recess. Some of you will catch us on YouTube, and many of you will catch us on the Win Network. So we certainly appreciate you. So in the chat room, I see that we have Tiffany Thank you for tuning in, Tiffany. I see you're giving us applaud. Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you. Brian Phillips, my guy from Philadelphia. We got Philadelphia in the house. Thank you. Said it's great insight. And then we got Cherie Beasley over there talking. She's in a interracial relationship, and she says that she has not noticed many difficulties or challenges. That's an awesome thing. And this is what this is about. We want to give you insight and just talk about real talk about real relationships. And my guest, if you're just joining us, my guest is Mary and Gwen. And we are having a delightful, delicious dialogue in
Delicious.
regards to interracial dating. So I want to dig in. I want to ask you guys some questions. I want to know, did you research the culture of the person that you decided to date prior to dating them? Or did you research the culture of the person that you started to date after you started dating them?
I didn't. I think it's better to learn together. You know, I I didn't do any research before or after.
No?
No.
Well,
I
me
just,
too. I did not. I just learned from him.
mm-hmm.
A lot about the culture, a lot about values and traditions.
Yeah.
But I did not know anything about it, and I did not even read about it
Well, because
before.
we pretty
What,
much
but
Americans, so
have
Yeah.
you guys ever had, okay, like a disagreement that made you say, I wouldn't have responded like that, or I wouldn't have acted like that. Maybe it's the cultural thing. Has that ever come up in your mind mentally, or have you ever said that to yourself just in a conversation that you had among yourself, or maybe amongst someone else from your culture? You had that conversation.
not
Yeah, not
not
really. I
really.
No.
never
No,
really encountered that at
Okay.
no,
all.
no.
Okay.
It's been
Yeah.
really easy, really being in an interracial relationship. I think it's almost secondhand to me.
Second
Right.
nature now that
Sec,
you, yeah.
second, not second,
Okay.
second
Second
Yeah.
nature.
hand,
Yeah,
second nature, all the
second
same
nature.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Well, opposite attracts. So sometimes when you're opposite to another person, red and blue and whatever, it just works.
Works red and blue.
Yes.
red and blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just that black didn't work for you
Black.
though.
No, black too.
Just having fun. I'm just having fun.
Black
I'm like,
work.
I'm just having fun with you because you said you dated a black, and you said once you go black, you never go back. But
I
you went
know.
back. I'm just having fun with you. So let me ask you this, Gwen. Don't take it to seven.
I get so scared of saying an ounce or a little bit of not a good word over here. So, I hope I am doing well.
You're doing amazing. You're doing. I'm having fun with you. Just
Oh
so.
my
I did not
god.
use yellow.
Is there anything that you, either one of you, discovered about their culture that you said, "Wow, it was I really like"? Is there anything that you discovered about their culture that you said, maybe I don't like? What were some of the pros of the culture that you discovered that you now do? You've incorporated into your life, your lifestyle, maybe?
For
Mm,
me, first is uh, religion. That's one thing that we have different religion.
Okay.
But I did not encounter that. I did not think that I did not like that. We have he's Jewish and I am Christian,
Okay.
but I did not say, "Oh, I don't like Judaism," or I mean, in fact, I attended
you embraced
some
it.
and I
Mm-hmm.
embraced it.
Okay.
And he actually embraced my religion as well. So I don't think that's a negative.
I
And
think
and
that's a very I
then
think that's very positive
yeah,
actually.
and then
Yeah, yeah.
also the traditions like Christmas is my favorite holiday. And in Judaism, it's Chanukah. It's kind of like equivalent to Christmas.
Okay.
So it's just different dates, but then you also get gifts. So
Okay.
it's more
It's
gifts. You
just
have
because you get
Christmas and
more
then you have
gifts,
Chanukah,
so you get double gifts.
double gifts.
I'm
So
sure
I
you're
think
loving that.
that's a positive,
That was
right?
easy for you
Yeah,
to embrace,
that's for
right?
sure. Yeah,
What
yeah.
about you, Mary?
Um, to me, I guess the pros would be well, let me talk about the cons. No, the pros would be dating an American. We in the Philippines, we didn't really have 4th of July. We didn't have Thanksgiving. So coming here now, you get the fireworks on the 4th of July, now American pies, and it's just, it's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So,
your
Yeah,
transition
we
for
don't
you,
have
you
July
saw it
4th.
as progressively being better
mhm.
than digressively being worse.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think when you learn and immerse yourself in another culture, you become a more well-rounded
Of
person.
course, yeah. Yeah.
And one of the things that I like about what you said, Gwen, and I think this could be for a whole nother show, is religious preferences. Because sometimes certain religions think that you cannot date someone out of that religion because, of course, it's against their belief system.
Right.
You
Mhm,
guys don't
mhm.
believe the same. It's what they call you don't eat from the same table. But I think it can enhance you. I think it
Yeah.
can enhance you in so many ways if you're open to embracing from the standpoint, because you're going to probably receive something spiritually
Right.
that you have probably never received before.
Mhm.
If you're open enough to embrace that so that you can receive that, as opposed to staying in the same box getting the same thing over and over and over and over. So how does that advance you, because you're staying in the same box and you're just getting the same thing over and over? But if you embrace something else, it allows you um
To learn.
to learn.
Mhm.
Exactly,
Yes.
you learn, and
To
now
grow.
it advances you too. It advances
Right.
you mentally.
Yes.
It takes you to a whole nother place spiritually,
Right.
because
Yes.
now you're open to embrace something new. It takes you and gives you something new.
Right. Right. Yes. I mean, you become more accepting
Yeah.
to others, whether it's race, gender, or you become more accepting of the culture and the habits, values, family.
Hmm.
We have different families, we have different traditions, and it's not only the Chanukah and Christmas, but
You just like
it's
that
it's
one because of the
different.
Different
gifts.
Yeah,
traditions.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's beyond that.
So we talked about the pros. We talked about some of the cons. Um, do you think? Do you think, as a whole, though, we are now more embracing as a whole, as our country? Or do you still think that you still get the stares, and do you still think that when you guys walk out in public, people still are like, um why is she with him, or why is he with her? Do you feel like you still get that type of
I don't.
feeling, that energy?
I don't. I've
Yeah.
never felt that or encountered that. I think the whole country, or in general, interracial dating is still a minority.
Hmm.
It's not still common. I
Hmm.
mean, compared to the same race.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I'm wondering though,
I
and I'll find this out next week, because I'm wondering if a black woman would think the same thing about if she was dating a white man, because I think it depends on race. I think it depends on what race, who dates who. I
Mhm.
think there are different levels to how it's accepted. I think that, and I'm curious, and I'll find that out next week. If I ask that same question to a African American woman, would she feel the same way you guys feel?
Oh yeah, yeah, that
I don't
will
think
be interesting.
they might be feeling different, I
Yeah.
think.
But
Yeah.
also, Reggie, do you think that it's also demographics and like people, places who are very diverse in race have higher interracial dating or marriages than not?
Oh,
You
I
know?
was in Minneapolis, and I saw so many interracial couples in Minneapolis. I really liked that. I was in Minneapolis. I saw that there. I'm trying somewhere else. I was in Denver. I saw it in Denver quite often as well.
Yeah.
Um, but I still don't think it is as embraced as a whole for our country. I still think that our country hasn't embraced it as a whole, and I think
Hmm.
that, again,
Yeah.
depending on what two people decide to come together, I think it makes a big difference. And I think that depends on what two people decide to come together, whether or not the stairs are there. Like, I think and I think it comes in so many different layers. I talked about this last week. For example, I'm African American, but if I decided to date an African, there's still two cultures that are
Mhm.
different.
Mhm.
Although we have the same skin tone, we're still talking about two different cultures.
Mhm.
So, is it going to be as embraced? It may be accepted from a
From
aesthetic
your, yeah,
standpoint from
Right.
people
from the
looking at
looks.
it,
Mhm.
but from a personal standpoint, is her parents or is her family going to be as readily to accept me as an African American as compared to her dating another African, although we're all same skin tone. So I think there's layers to this.
Oh
So,
yeah.
oh, okay. So there's different levels of
Levels,
Yeah.
racism.
absolutely,
I know.
absolutely. And I can't wait to come back next week because I can't wait to hear how it is when an African American woman dates a Caucasian man. So those are two totally different cultures.
Right.
Mhm.
Now, how does his family accept her? And how does
That
her
is,
family accept him? See,
well,
you guys have had a really good, smooth transition.
yes, yes.
Very
Yeah, we
smooth
have.
But
transition.
I think it depends on the family. That's why, yes. I mean, racism for me, I think it starts from the family. It starts from the home, like what you really teach your kids, or what are they exposed to, or like. But if you exposed your kids to this is the norm and everyone have different colors, maybe they will be, have different thinking and more
Hmm.
accepting.
I
You
mean,
know,
I don't know
it,
that.
it's
I don't
it's
know if there's a
just
right or wrong.
I
There
know
You know what I
it's
isn't.
just
mean?
so vast.
It is vast, and
Yeah.
I don't know whether there's a right or wrong to this, but it's great to have these conversations. That's
Yeah,
why I
it
wanted to have this
is.
conversation because it allows our listeners to open up. It allows. So I see that I was in an interracial relationship, and I did experience that though. So she's an African American woman saying she experienced that dating she said she dated a Caucasian man. So she
Right.
got the stares. And that's
Yeah,
someone in
Yeah.
our chat, you see.
Tiffany.
So
I
I guess
know.
I
Did
don't
you
know
ever
if
date a black guy?
Mhm.
and
Okay.
how
Did
was
you
that?
ever
Yeah,
get
Did you
like a
get
stare?
stares?
I think so. Yeah, mostly from the black girls.
You thought so? It was
Mhm.
mostly coming from
Yeah.
and that's a whole nother show in and of itself. But a lot of that people think that black women have attitudes and they're just mad, they're angry. It's not that. Let me
No,
explain
no,
that.
it's not that.
It's because when you look at the whole spectrum of it, they just feel like there's a shortage of great good African American men, and then when they
Exactly.
see another culture, grabbing
Snatching
that
them.
man,
Mhm.
they're wondering why when there's so many good looking African American women. And
Right.
so it's not that they're angry, it's not that they're upset, they're trying to figure out why.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah.
And but the media would have it to us to believe that these women are angry and they're just mad all the time, but it's not even that.
It's
Right.
not. It's
There
not that.
again, there's layers to that too.
Right. Right.
So we're gonna take a quick break here. We're gonna talk about something. We're doing something that's called sexy, classy, and badassy. And we come back. We're gonna wrap this up with you ladies. But we want to talk about the sexy, classy, and badassy, and then we will be right back. So sexy, classy, badassy is all about being sexy, being classy, and being badassy. It's about being confident, competent, and comfortable in your skin. So we're looking for women from the ages of 35 to 65 to represent the first sexy, classy, badassy calendar for 2022. But we've got some breaking news that we're going to share with you women here in the next week or so about sexy, classy, badassy. So you don't want to miss this news, and you need to go to www.sexyclassybadassy, sexy, classy, and
No.
badassy.com, because sexy, classy, badassy is not about the look, it's about the feel, it's about being comfortable in your skin. We looking for all shapes, all sizes, and we are looking for all colors to represent sexy, classy, and badassy. Again, go to www.sexyclassyandbadassy and be a participant in the sexy, classy, badassy. So we're back, and we got to wrap this up with you ladies, and this has been so much fun. And you guys,
This is not a lot of time.
We're on for a
I
whole
was
hour.
like, I'm
It goes so
Oh
fast.
my!
wow.
Really?
It goes so
You
fast.
Wow.
didn't say so
It
much.
goes. Oh, you're
You
not done.
did.
I'm not getting ready to release
I
you guys
didn't.
yet. So I got a segment on my show, and it's called Reggie's Relationship Recipe.
Mhm.
So I give you all the opportunity to ask me any question that you want. The first question comes to your mind about relationships. I'm going to create a recipe for you
Oh,
about your question. So I'll answer your question, and then we're going to do uh, a recipe. What's your question, Gwen? Or should I go to Mary first?
Mary first.
Mary, what's your
my
question?
question is, how do you keep a woman keep interested in you? I mean, what do you do? What?
Okay, there's a word called mundane.
Yes, yeah. How do you make it not mundane?
Mundane is when you just keep doing the same thing over. And then there's another word they say insanity is when you keep doing the same thing and then you expect different results.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to turn something into it being insane and it becomes insanity, then you change the routine. The word routine, there's a root word for routine called rut. You fall into a rut when you continue to do the same routine.
Yeah.
So now, how do we make it exciting? We do something we've never done before. When we do something we've never done before, we can expect to receive something we've
Yeah.
never got before. So you change it around, change the routine, do something different, and make a vow to yourself that you're going to start to be as creative as you possibly can be. Be creative. Let your creative juices flow.
Mm-hmm.
And now you guys get this little competition to see who can become the most creative. And now you create and you stir up a level of excitement.
Yes.
Okay, my question is, what is your communication style in relationship, and what are the things that you do to spice it up
What's your communication style or just in general?
in
What's your
general? Like,
So you first of all, do you know what your love language is?
right?
Okay, so you have to determine your love language. That's number one. And then once
Okay.
you determine what your love language is, then you use that as your launching pad to maneuver and be strategic in how you spruce it up. Because your love language is your natural flow. That's how you naturally flow. That's just who you are. That's what comes out of you naturally. So once you determine your love language, use that
Mm-hmm.
as your launching pad to spruce it up, and it just becomes a natural flow. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so here's
Yes.
our
love
recipe.
language?
Here's our recipe. We're going to put some ingredients together. Okay, so our first recipe is we're going to talk about in Reggie's relationship recipe and all this stuff. I'm going to put this all in my new book that's coming out. And so in the first, we're going to create this road because we're talking about interracial dating, and I talked to you guys about how do you get beyond to get to, and it's so that's what I call the looking road.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the looking road is two souls are wandering planet Earth in search for one another. That's that looking. So that's our first ingredient is the look. That's the
Yes.
looking road. But
Mm-hmm.
then the second ingredient is what I call the alert road. What does the alert road mean? It means being in an energetic or organic space that allows for the awakening. So
It's like a
now you
warning
become,
signs.
you become awakened and aware. So now it gives you the alertness.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to be able to pull something over on you because
Mm.
you're awakened, you're aware. You
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
got past that look. He looks great, but I'm thinking there's something else here.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
you're
I
alert.
see.
Yes. You look
You're
for the warning signs.
Yeah, you got to look
Yes.
for those flags
Yes.
because why do you want to go all the way down the road and then you get down the road and now you determine, oh God, this guy is crazy,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, looking road, alert
No
road,
more.
and then we have what I call the trial
Mm.
road. The
Okay.
trial road is accepting the challenge to fully accept you. Why? You're not accepting him, you're accepting you. Because when you become what you want, then what you want becomes natural. it's like the journey to love is not about finding the one. The journey to love is about becoming the one.
Mhm.
So now we have this trial road, and that's accepting the challenge to fully accept yourself, because you have to know what's your fit. If you don't know what's your fit, then you're just going to let anything try to fit in.
Yes.
Make sense?
Makes
Mhm.
sense.
Okay, so now what's our first road? Look road. Second
Alert.
road is
Alert
alert.
road.
And what's our
Accepting.
trial, which is accepting the
Trial.
trial road,
Trial.
right? Then we have what I call the emergency road. There's the potential for conflict. That's that emergency road, because there's always a potential that, yeah, this is not working. There's conflict. And
Yeah.
so how do I handle conflict? What's my resolution for conflict? Do I have a conflict resolution? Do I know how to deal with it? Some people don't know how to handle conflict, and conflicts just disshuffles some people and just throws them completely off. So now I've got the trial road, I've got the emergency road, then I have what I call the concede road. The concede road is so funny because these are two people that are connected and they literally feel each other. We now have gone through that, and we determined we've got something. So we concede to proceed so that we can allow the process to manifest.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Mhm.
Okay, so then we got the concede road, and then we have what I call the reigning road. It's when the two people, they unite, and this ultimate relationship is formed. So those are our ingredients for this
Wow,
Reggie's
that's a big recipe.
relationship
It's a big road.
recipe. It's
Yeah.
a road.
It's a big road.
It's a road that we're gonna walk down.
A lot
to
of
get-
ingredients
to get-
there.
Yeah, but that's what makes great
Yes.
cakes.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, it's
The
those
sweet.
ingredients. Come on, you put a little pinch here, a little pinch here.
Eggs and butter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see?
Yes. Mhm.
By the way, you guys are Filipino, right? Both of you?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so listen, here's my request on my recipe. Lumpia.
Lumpia is good. So is
It
pancit.
is.
Yes.
Pancit.
Pancit's
I can cook
good.
that.
I can buy it.
You'll hook some up for me? She said she can buy it.
I
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
I can
But
buy
I
it
have
for you.
another question. Do
Okay,
you
come on,
think,
talk to me.
Yeah, the last question. Do you think that interracial marriage or relationship has more, when it comes to divorce rate, is it higher or lower?
Oh, that I don't know.
You know, I don't
don't-
know the numbers on which
Or,
is higher.
compared to the
than
same
just-
rates?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna look that up and have an answer for that next week.
Okay.
Because I'm really not sure, and that's a great question.
Yeah.
And I think that is definitely something worth researching.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not. You haven't
don't
researched
know.
that. I don't
So
either.
Yeah, I have
that's
not-
that's definitely.
it just popped in my
I'm
mind.
gonna look that up.
Yes.
And I'll have an answer next week. Do we have anything over? That's how. Great question. Yes, that is a great question.
Great question.
So Tiffany says,
Yeah.
"Great,
Oh, thank you,
great,
Tiffany.
great question."
Yeah, I don't know, Tiffany.
So we will have it.
So-
We will definitely have an answer for that next week. We're gonna take
Right.
another break, and then we're gonna let you ladies go. If you guys are interested in being a sponsor for Reggie's Recess, we're gonna show you how you can be a sponsor for Reggie's Recess. Those of you who've been considered, I want to be a sponsor, I want to play a part, I want to be a part of Reggie's Recess. We're gonna show you how you can do that right now.
Hello. Thank you for watching and being a friend to Reggie's Recess. We're on a mission. Our goal is to empower 1 million women. It costs a great deal of money to keep this mission moving forward. We have created a wonderful opportunity for our viewers and friends to align themselves with us so that we can achieve this goal. Please consider making a conscious decision to be a supporter and sponsor. We have 3 levels.
Silver at $100. You'll receive a C. Regi Rogers signature one-man woman t-shirt. Gold at $250. You'll receive a C. Regi Rogers signature one-man woman t-shirt and baseball hat. Platinum at $500. You'll receive a one-man woman baseball hat, t-shirt, a C. Regi Rogers book, and workbook entitled Love at First Spirit.
For your gift to the show and see Reggie Rogers' #1 relationship coach, you get a piece of the One-Man Woman Tour memorabilia. Go to www.creggierogers.com, click on the link Sponsorship or Cash App, $CLOYD RODGERS. If you like our merchandise, you can actually order your t-shirts, hats, and books. Go to www.onemanwoman.com.
Hey, if you want to be a sponsor, you can go to cregirogers.com. Please do go there. You can be a sponsor. There are 3 levels of sponsorship. Choose one of those levels, become a sponsor for the show, for Reggie's Recess. And if you just like our merchandise, One Man Woman merchandise, if you're a man and you want to get that shirt for your girl, it just lets the world know she is a one-man woman. And if you're a female and you just want the shirt, you're letting people know that when you have a man, you're a one-man woman. So get the hat, get the t-shirts by going to onemanwoman.com. Onemanwoman.com. You could go there. So my guests, Mary and Gwen, they didn't want to leave. They're still here. I still got them. And I got a couple more questions for them, and then I will let them leave before. So both of you guys said you dated, or you were both married
Yes, we're both
Yes.
to
married.
a Caucasian
Yes.
individual before this one now.
Yes.
Is there something you learned the first go round that took you to the second go round that made it even a lot more, the transition easier and better? Is there anything you learned the first time, Mary?
Maybe communication. My first marriage, I wasn't really a good communicator.
I
think
find
with
that
this
hard to
one,
believe because you're
I
so
know.
quick with it and so
Not
sharp.
today though. Dang it! I'm sorry. I think I
You
put you
did
down.
so.
I got nervous.
Communication.
Yeah, communication. I think it's a lot better now with my husband now, and he's actually my first husband was an introvert. He I was married, but I really wasn't married because I was always by myself. But with this one, we're together, but I'm so busy now that I have so many things to do.
Very colorful life.
Very,
Yes.
man, he lets me do that because
Okay.
he figures a happy.
Trust.
Yeah, he trusts me. I
Trust
know
you.
I'm gonna go home to him. So
How about you? Was there something you learned from the first
Um,
that you took into the second that made the transition a lot easier and smoother?
yeah, I think a lot of things I've learned, but I can't enumerate it all because it's probably going to be a lot, but but I
give us
learned a
one.
lot of things. And then I was single for quite a while before I got married again. So I took my time and just enjoy myself first, and then reintroducing myself to another relationship is a different avenue, and it was just very smooth.
Very smooth. So it
Yes.
transitioned real easy. Okay, and this is my last question, and then we got to go. So the transition on the first go round, because it was new for both of you, how was that going into? Did you have trepidation? Did you have hesitation? Did you have reservation because it was new and you hadn't done it before? So did you have that trepidation
No trepidation for me.
You mean
when you?
getting my first marriage?
Yes, going into that.
Yeah, it's kind of different because I was how old was I?
For your
My
first
for my
first
first
marriage.
wedding. Yeah, my first marriage. Yes, I mean it's kind of I was nervous,
Yeah.
but this is the guy I am
But
into.
nervousness is to be accepted. I mean, is to be expected rather because you're getting married. It's your first time. But I'm asking, was the nervousness more geared toward because it was a white guy?
It's different. Um, Not really.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, not
Okay.
really.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
you guys have been amazing today, and I thank both of you for being my guests. I've got to send some shout outs to my guy, Steven Sebo, who's our show's producer. He helps us to sound good. He helps us to look good. And if we look good, sound good, we feel good. So
Then
we're
we're
grateful
good.
to Steven Sebo, Action Shot Productions. This is another Action Shot production. So if you're in the market, you need a video done, reach out to Steven Sebo. You need a movie shot, reach out to Steven Sebo. Whether it's a documentary, it doesn't matter. Anything that has to do with videography, Steven Sebo is your guy. So make sure you look up Action Shot
See,
Productions. He will be your guy. And so, we got to get out of here. But here's another thing that I want to, before we leave. If you want more of Reggie, you can catch me Monday through Friday. I'm also on Worldwide Jazz Radio, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 12 noon. I'm on the Langston Carter Show on the morning show. So you have several opportunities to catch me. You can catch me on Worldwide Jazz, 6 a.m., 12 noon on the Langston Carter Show. Catch me on Win Network, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Catch me on Wednesday nights, 87.9 Heat FM. You can catch me on YouTube, catch me on Facebook Live. So, we try to make it there so you can get to us, see us. And so I want to close with this today. This is my close. With so much emphasis on diversity, equality, and multiculturalism, interracial dating should no longer be a taboo. Most people would outwardly agree that there isn't anything wrong with dating outside of one's race, and many people are of the opinion that you have the right to like who you want to like and to love who you want to love. That's your choice. And so, whatever choice you decide, have no regrets about making that choice. We'll be back next week with another exciting Reggie's Recess, where we're talking about this month the pros and cons of interracial dating. See you back next week.